Hi everyone, thank you very much for finding time to listen to me. I asked Siri to set up timer. I was waiting for this minute because I live in Vilnius, so I was waiting for this to say, welcome to Vilnius, guys. Thank you for coming. And well, today we're going to speak a little bit about the market and the situation on the market. I'm not going to show you some numbers, but I'm going to show my view on the market and what's going on, because it's very much related to the topic that we're going to discuss today, the topic of raising money. I'm Alisa. I'm a serial entrepreneur with a lot of unsuccessful projects and a couple of successful. Some of you might know me as the founder of Game Insight. I founded this company in 2009 and used to run it 5 years as a CEO and stepped back as a CEO and left in 2014, so I am not longer with the group. My last company, Gosu.ai, I sold it in 2021. Used to do a chatbot, voice assistant for gamers. It's kind of gaming buddy. You play, it helps you to play, speak with you, make jokes, make some tips, and so on. Well, I'm 20 years in gaming, and I'm feel myself kind of veteran there. Well, speaking about the gaming market, we usually show this number that might be a range there, but it's a big number, like 200 billion US dollars generated last year, this year, plus minus. This is a very big number, and usually when someone asks me like, what kind of market are you in? I'm saying, oh, I'm in a gaming market. It's, oh, gaming market is big. But the thing is that the market is very, very separated. And each segment is actually not that big, and each segment is different. And out of these 200 billions, 100 billion is China, which is not our market. So it's already not 200, but 100. And yet it's separated. It's separated, as you might know, by platforms, by hardware, by business model, by distributors, by user experience and habits in different regions. It might be separated even by favorite genres and settings in different regions. And so if you take a look on the whole bunch of these points, you choose the market segment, and it's usually not that big. So I'm just trying to say that making a puzzle game that monetizes from advertising is totally different business comparing to building double AAA PC console title in, I don't know, shooter genre or something. And you have different team, you work on the different technologies, business model is like crazy bunch of different business models on this market. So when you're preparing to find money somewhere, when you're preparing to go outside and find money, just understand that there are two types of investors. One, know your market very well, so you would probably not gonna sell 200 billions in the whole market to them. And others who does not know the market, they probably can buy this 200 billion. Well, I have a very bad news for you guys. Market is in the later consolidation stage. It's extremely mature. I'm saying like second or third level of consolidation. It's when a big companies buying a big companies. That's what's happening. And the small companies, like small studios, small indie studios, need to jump very, very high to reach even the middle of this pyramid. And the barriers to enter is very high. The amount of investments you need to raise, the price for user acquisition is extremely high. It's really bad news. And everything is monopolized already. Horizontal platform monopoly, PC, Steam, consoles, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, mobile, Google on Android, Apple on iOS. It's monopolized. Tech is also monopolized. We're building now, like 20 years ago, we built it on native code, and now we're building on Unity and Unreal mostly. It's the whole market very much digits and analytics driven that is not keeping any space for innovation pretty much because we know the numbers, so we can cut a lot of innovation. And and traffic is monopolized as well. So 80% of traffic held by Unity, Facebook, and Google. Very bad market. And is there any space for innovation or disruption or so, like super, 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 super red ocean, a fire? Yeah, we're in the middle. There are some space for innovation. Cross-platform is already there. VR, AR, we still have hope. There is a niche. Web3 games, still alive. Metaverse, whatever it means, is also an opportunity. Cross-integrations in advertising and misleads, new platforms or something. You might try this. I believe in disruption due to AI. I believe that a lot of things are going to be disrupted in a couple of upcoming years, and especially the way how we build games. Well, but still, the market is very, very mature. And on the top of it, a tech crisis everywhere. So the big corporation and enterprises every day fire hundreds of thousands of their employers. They just cut costs right now. So we are in the middle, absolutely perfect storm right now. You say, cool, and what to do? So this is the end of the lecture. Now we can go drink some wine. This is it. Well, you need to remember, but the first thing you need to remember that after every storm, there is a calm and there's gonna be some renaissance. And if you will stay alive in the storm, and if you will be ready for the renaissance with some kind of product that you've built, this is a very, very good timing. Second, even in this ideal storm, there are some investors, there are a lot of money, they're looking for good projects. And the thing is that there are much more money on the market than the good projects. So this is a good news. Well, and now we will speak a little bit about the fundraising. I did a lot of deals, like probably, I don't know, 7, maybe 8, with the different partners. And I do consulting last couple of years, and a lot of startups coming to me and asking like how to raise money, we need money, where we will find the money, and I'm saying, well, why do you need money? And the common answer is we need to scale, or we need to build product, and we're going to be big. We're going to be like Playrix, or like some other big guys, like we're going to make Candy Crush Saga. And usually it takes time for me to get right and honest answer on this question. What do you want? What do you want? What is the final goal of your journey? And it took me, I don't know, tens of years to answer this question for myself honestly. What I really want. Do I want to build something new and innovative, invent something new, or just do games, and this is it? Or, for example, I want to build a company that it make, I don't know, IPO, become a really big and scaled, have thousands of employers, or I'm just making fun, and I don't know. That's also an answer. And the answer on this question is very important, because when you're going to raise money, you're gonna, together with this money, you actually invite your new partners into the boat for this trip. And you need to be sure that the goal, it might be not the same, but actually you have a close goals. Because if you have different goals, that's going to be a shareholder conflict 100%. And that's going to be not a good ride. Well, to understand what the goals investors are, they actually have there are some types of investors, they have typical goals, but the most important thing, answer the question to yourself. And the question, I want to have small studio, I want to make innovative games, I want to just make games for fun, is a very good answer. You just, when market is pushing you to grow, it might be not your choice. But anyway, just be honest. After you answered this question, you need to learn what kind of investors exist on the market. What are they? So you can basically raise some money from private guys, some just friends and family guys, not from the industry. It could be publishers that also support your company with funds. It could be strategic investors, VCs, some other. We will go through the list a little bit later. But if you have a little opportunity not to raise, if you can bootstrap, do it. Because it's not, the easiest thing here is to raise money. The hardest thing is to live with the partners that you invited in the company after that. Let's go through. And choose properly. And choose not always emotionally. Understand what they want. Let's go through. Friends and family, private investors. Usually it's very easy to raise. It's very good to support small, medium studios. They usually very interested in the markets. They usually have no idea what gaming is, and they're like, oh, this is stage, this is gaming, I always wanted to invest there. So you can actually sell 200 billions to them, and and they will probably believe you. And they're highly likely to continue to invest if something goes wrong. So if your game is not very good, you need some more money, they're highly likely to continue. But the bad thing about them, they're very, very often, especially in Eastern Europe, they feel like it's totally their business. So if they invested, that's their business. If they're on the business side, they usually can try to rule and change the situation and do something. They're trying to help with no understanding what they're doing and so on. And expect that you need to have a lot of relationship. Just expect that you need to have a lot of relationship with every investor. That they requires relationship. You will spend a lot of time as a founder in relationship with the investor. But these guys needs much more. You will explain everything to them. Others, is one of them is on the stage now. I said I feel like I'm veteran here. And angel investors. They're very good to support small, medium. They are very good for first rounds. They usually have a huge industry network, and they can really help with a lot of stuff. They can help with new investments. They can introduce you to some publishers. They can share their experience. So it really makes sense to have them on board. But at some point, they can become a stop factor for the investors to come in. Because, you know, if I'm 20 years in gaming, I have different relationship on the market. So probably some good, some might be not very good. So it might be sensitive for some investors to enter if there is someone from the industry there. And also expect that, just be sure that they want to invest, but not just jump in because they have a lot of experience. You can get them as advisors if you want. If they need them, it's good to have a good advisory board with experienced people. But if you're looking for money, don't waste your time on them if they don't want to invest. Just ask straight. The next is publishers is strategic. And this is very, yeah, I had a lot of discussions on this. And it's a really good path. I mean, if you want to feel safe, if you want to have good salary, be, you know, under the roof of a strong partner, don't care about everything, about business, about traffic, just, you know, build your games. This might be a choice. But if you want to be free and independent and rule your own, and if you want to build your own playrix, that's not an option. It's very easy to negotiate with them. It's very, it's kind of, you know, it kind of be very easy to onboard them. But with the middle-sized and medium-sized publishers, that could be a conflict of interest in their portfolio. Because at some point, some of them doesn't have enough traffic, and if they have own games in portfolio, then they can actually just, you know, sign you, launch the game, and wait what's happening, and wait for the numbers and not push the game like you expect. I'm sorry, I'm just made a mistakes on the slide a little bit. Yeah, I used to speak about the large publishers and strategic. These guys are safe. These guys are very safe, and it's good under their roof if you're not really ambitious. Be honest. Answer the question, what do you want? You want to be with a good salary and you want to be safe? This is your partners. You want to risk, you want to build something big, ambitious. It might be not very good, it might be good, I don't know. Then go by yourself or find other investors. VCs are your right choice. It's pretty hard to negotiate with them, and of course, there are a line of the studios want to under their roof. So it's probably could be hard to negotiate. It could be hard to negotiate, and it's harder to get on board. But it could be a very good choice. But keep your eye very, very much on the papers that you sign. Venture capital. I don't believe in venture capital in gaming. There are less than 20 pure venture capital firms in the world. So we actually can say that there are no venture capital in gaming. Because gaming is a very risky business, And venture capital is also very, very high risk. So risk on the risks, it's too much. Usually, so regular VCs, like there are tons of VCs in the world, they usually do not invest in games. Those who invest usually not very big. So they have numbers like 100 million, the volume of the funds. Except Anderson Horowitz, which has 600 millions, but it's in US. And they're they're not really global. So US funds usually invest in US. And so they are not kind of, those who invest in games, they're not kind of VC, but not really VC. And what you need to know about them, they are waiting you to grow X100, which is rarely happen in gaming market. And it's very easy to negotiate, they're well connected, and they always ready to jump out, to sell to someone on the next stages. Just be ready for this. Usually VCs, real VCs, the only one thing what they care about is your capitalization. This is kind of business schemotechnics, how to build capitalization. Of course, you need to have a good product. Of course, you need to have good sales. You need to have a good revenues. You need to have a good margin. You need to have a good team and so on. But all these together, plus a lot of activities like you as a founder need to do to raise the capitalization of your company. That's what these guys are looking for. And if you're not ready for this, if you're not ready to play this game, it's probably not your choice. There are some, even here in this rooms, there are some strategics that looks like VCs. So they call themselves, we are a VC firm, but at the same time, they are venture arms of the big corporations, so big enterprise companies. So what it means, that's basically this is like publishing plus invest deal. So if you have the investing deals from these guys, you will see that they're trying to put their leg in the door, and you will definitely have right of first refusal in the documents. If everything will go good, they will buy you in a low price, and you will become in-house studios. So check, is this a real VC, or this is MyCom, or someone else? What's good about them? They understand games very well. You know, these guys, there's a big Chinese company, #1 in the world. When they invest in someone, they take a game and give it to a publishing team. So M&A team, the corporate development team, give it to a publishing team. The game is going through the funnel, and then if the publishing team says that the game is good, then they invest. So this is kind of really strategic investment, which is made on public, like we see in that. There are some others, but yeah, we don't have a lot of time. What's my timer is saying? Okay. Well, it's the easiest thing in raising money, especially if it's a first round, like a pre-seed or seed round, is to raise. But the life is long. I mean, this company or this studio might be not the last one. And when you go to meet someone for the first time, it's very important what kind of impression they will get out of this meeting. Because this time they might say, no, we're not giving money for you. Not this time, we don't like game, or we don't like studio, or you're not in our memorandum or whatever. But the next time, it can work if the first time you were prepared good and made a good impression. So in this case, I always try to push startups in studios to prepare very, very, very well. So spend 90% of your time on preparation, and then 10% of time on negotiation. That's how it works. I have, even not in fundraising, I have a funny story. I have a good friend of mine, he used to work for NCSoft, Corp Dev. And I was raising money for Gosu AI. And on GDC, we were, walking around the conference, and I was pitching Gosu AI, like, oh, I have this new idea. It's going to be an analytical platform and chatbot that will help gamers to improve their skills and blah, blah, blah. I was so excited and absolutely not prepared. And so I told him that, oh, there is an AI, we can do a lot of things with the gaming data, we can do this and do that, and blah, 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 and so on. And he was, oh, it's interesting, I'm excited. And then in a year, on the same GDC, he was walking around in a year, and he was asking, like, how your this esports startups doing? And I was like, esports? What? Where was esports in the pitch? And I remember that I was, featured like, oh, and we can also do for esports, and we can also do for gamers, and for casual gamers, and for everyone. And esports was the only one thing that he remembered. So if you're not well prepared, if you cannot, pitch your game very well, they will remember you as, oh, this is a strange guy from this country. How do you say, Lithuania? Where is it? And you're making, what? I don't remember, it was something, I don't remember. So this is, probably not the case you want to reach. So prepare. Yeah, of course you need to have invest deck and some prototypes and experience description and everything, blah, 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 blah. That's in ChatGPT can actually advise you on this and tell you what you need to do. You don't need Alisa for that. Network is the most important thing. When you go, network is much more important than the round that you built. You meet the people, put it on LinkedIn, put it in your Excel files, remember their emails, make small talks with them, update them, make your network work, because this will help you in the future. Know who you pitch to. Take 5-10 minutes before a call, before a meeting, to check the website, to understand who they are, where they're from, what their portfolio is, what they're looking for. Usually, intro, 5 minutes, they usually say about the checks and what they're looking for, and so on, but just understand this. Check the news, make a story, make a story is a very good advice, because story is a trigger, it catches you up. And play your own game. Don't forget that you're looking for a partner to yourself. You're not looking for just money, you're looking for a partner. And always remember what you want. It's much easier. Just an example. Yeah, today a friend of mine told me this story. So there's a kind of gaming studio in London, in UK, middle size, making 10 to 12 million, I don't know, US pounds, US dollars, pounds, whatever, per year. They're like 30% margin, one shareholder, making very good games, life is good, everything's fine. And he decided he gonna scale. He wanna scale. And like, why you wanna scale? You're making this is a very good business, you're doing what you love, you really love games, you don't wanna do business. Why do you need to scale? I don't know, but I decided I'm going to scale. We were, discussing, is it good or bad to make this move? So if you want to have a small studio that's making $10 million per year, even $2 million per year, if you want this is good. And there are partners that be ready to share this business with you, to bring your money there, and will be happy that you will have from $2,000 to $10,000. It will not wait while you become player X or someone. Just know your partners. And very important thing, especially about VCs and strategics who is in industry, they speak about you. Once you came out on the market and started to raise, they're going to discuss you. So don't lie. Don't say different numbers to different people, because they're going to discuss you. They always do. And try to make it the process of negotiation, a lot of preparation, and the process of negotiation very, very intense. Like 2-3 weeks, very intense. You go on the market, you get feedback, you understand what's going on. If something's wrong, then something's wrong. You need to prepare one more time, maybe change something in your pitch, in your company, in your strategy, and then go out, intense, and pitch. One thing is extremely important. I call it entrepreneurship swings. It's when you're like on the swings and like, oh, it's so cool, I'm gonna be a billionaire, my game is gonna grow up and everything's gonna be so good, and then on the next day, oh my God, we're gonna die poor, and everything's very bad, and this is it. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen with you. And psychologically, there are gonna be hundreds of meetings, and every time these people on meetings gonna tell you that you're doing something wrong. That this is not going to work because there are tons of companies that are doing the same games, the market is very mature, you're not going to do this, and that's going to happen. And just be sure that there is a shoulder that will help you to go through this, because it's really, really hard to do, even for very experienced persons. But remember just one thing. You need only one yes to make it happen. Only one. That's how it works. And especially for you, not to be just blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of different investors. I picked up some investors who invested in games in the last 5 years. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. Time for questions. Ask anything you want until you have time. Okay, let's start with maybe a little dumb question, but still. I remember about 5 or 6 years ago on the DevGAMM, there was a panel about VR, discussing VR, and I think Sergey Alovsky said that if you want to jump on this train, launching through the money to the VR, you're already late. And now there is again VR and AR in the list of innovations. And so the question is, as a veteran, maybe you have thoughts. It's not about maybe investing, but what do you think is the next big deal in this list that you prepared? What do you think will be the next thing that you should start making games about now? Like Metaverse, Roblox, VR, something like that. What do you think about?
This is a very provocative question.
Yes, that's the point. But
because you probably know what I'm going to say.
It's not a financial advice, of course. But just your thoughts. Maybe.
I never actually believed in VR as a mass market, because if you ever tried, to wear VR box on your head.
But now we have Apple.
Now we still don't know, yeah? Okay. And it's not a VR. So I believe it is a niche, And as I said, the market is very, very segmented. I mean, web games is also a niche. Advertising puzzles are also a niche. And yeah, VR is also a niche. So yeah, as a niche, it's fine. But you know, it's not going to become as massive as casual games on mobile, for example. At least something will disrupt it, but I can't see any, yeah. On the AR, it's also a niche. Well,
It's hard to say about anything because it's just at the start, I think, like metaverse and Web3.
I have a very strong vision on metaverse. Now I see that a lot of bubbles already comes out, which is very, very good. I still believe that it will be a lot of cases in 3D internet, actually, in that on the flat screen. And this is a very interesting niche where you can go. But you know, there are still a lot of startups that don't really understand what they're doing. I don't really believe in classic sandbox, like, oh, we will build the metaverse and the sandbox, and they will come and buy the property there. What for? Like, why? And it's not going to work. So I don't believe in next second lives that, you know, yeah, will appraise. But in the 3D kind of 3D experience on in the different platform, in the cross jump into the cross project, cross authorization, I believe. So there are some interesting stuff might be happening. But my belief, last 8 years I'm in AI. I don't have a technical background, but you know, when you work with a talented team of machine learning engineers for a long time, you start to understand a little bit. I believe that it will disrupt very much the production cycle, how we produce games. And my belief a little bit more opportunistic than just we're going to have co-pilots. I believe that it's going to be generated.
Well, it's already happening, as I know.
But now it's still co-piloting.
Yeah.
So you use this to co-pilot and make it faster and cheaper. But this is also a case. When you do something faster and cheaper, you will get more space for innovation. So the big companies will have more opportunity to innovate. So it's going to be more kind of, I believe it's going to be more kind of, you know, sandboxes where, you know, you can try different stuff, some innovative. It might be we'll even see new genres, which is happening rare on this market. But yeah, faster and cheaper. But my vision is a little bit one step forward. I really believe in generative cores. That's going to generate it. I would afraid to say real time, but why not? Might be a real time in a couple of years. That's my belief. So, if we're looking for something which will be a segment where the small indie studio can go, that might be Web3, that might be some metaverse stuff, that might be VR, whatever. If we're speaking about the real disruption that can really change a little bit this market and bring something new to it, that's definitely machine learning.
But the big companies should launch the process, I think, not the indie. Our pain, industry pain, is that we are so much digital driven, data driven. We see so much data, even we don't really understand what the data means. That actually stops any innovation. So the big companies, like generating 80%, maybe more of the money on the market. And they are afraid to lose the position. So I still expect innovation from the bottom. Okay. So, yeah, if you have a question, just come to the microphone and free to ask. Please do it in microphone because we need to record your question too.
Hi, and thanks for the talk. I actually have two. First one, any idea or forecasts where this perfect storm came to the end? I mean, like right now we have kind of global recession, but at the same time we see forecast for gaming industry growing, still growing, maybe with just a little bit. But again, any idea when we will see the same amount of money on the market which we will see 2 years ago, for example?
First of all, about the industry, this is probably one of the very few industries that grow 20 years in a row. That was the first year, even if it's a little bit, like 2%, but it grew 20 years in a row, except last year because of the COVID. It was a big grow, and then it is down. And also, the new generations, the games are not an entertainment anymore. It's a part of youth culture, and that's why it's going to grow. And the good news is that this is a content-driven business, which means that there is a rotation of the project there. And still, even if on the market where the big enterprise catch their traffic and everything and catch that, it's still a content business. So there are still a place for innovation. So yeah, it's good market, and yeah, it's going to grow. On the crisis, I really don't know. I mean, my expectation, I am opportunistic usually, I'm an optimist. Next year, I hope. Next year, probably closer to autumn next year. Good timing to build something. To just, keep yourself in the garage at home and build something. To bring it when it will unfrozen.
Thank you. And does it make any sense for the teams from Eastern Europe move to locations where the actual money is, for example, to US? I mean, it's obvious local people would invest in local people since they know the market, they know locals. But does it change something in the mind of investors if not only location, but the team itself? I mean, we Eastern Europe guys, we move to US. Does it make any difference for investors from US?
That's a super good question. It's super good. Thank you for this. 5 years ago, US investors and European investors, especially in the verticals like gaming, very special industry, they founded that the Eastern Europe is a perfect place and very cheap and I would not say cheap, I say cost-effective, very cost-effective place to do production and then do production for the whole world. And the platforms is horizontal. You need only to make a check boxes and then everything is horizontal. It doesn't really work like this anymore. Globalization is over. Sorry, but the production is still cost-effective in Europe, in Eastern Europe. US investors does not invest in Europe, almost not invest in Europe anymore. So US is US, and Europe is Europe. So if you stay, it's really very cheap, but it's better to find European investors. There are some, but the list is very short. If you want more opportunities, and if you want, US market, it might make sense, but just prepare to have larger costs, and everything is just the different numbers. They're bigger, and it's not very cheap, to move to US and live there. So based on the idea and the question, what you want, it might be a choice. Because if you want to have a good studio, generate some revenues, and live your quiet life, it's a super best place, and Eastern Europe is super place to have a team here. Of course, you can have some teams, part of the team remote everywhere, but core team, you still need to still need these people to come together sometimes. So if you're trying to build something big and you need a really lot of investors and numbers and everything, it might make sense to move. Answer the question what you want.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I know you can't answer for all the funds, all the investors. Everyone is different. But in your perspective, does it make any sense just to have like HQ or front office in US and back office here? I mean, does it make any difference? Do you see this as a plus or a minus?
That's also depend on the goal you wanna reach. If you expect to get US investors on the board, you need at least one of founder be in US. It doesn't work if all the founders is here, because usually every investor, they invest in a team, not in a company, in a legal company. It might be anywhere. Well, I just remember that I had I have a lot of negotiation with San Francisco right now, and I have calls like during the night, and I also have 6 months baby, so I do not sleep. Yeah, and this is also it seems like it's easy. Believe me, it's not. I had a US office. I had a US office in Game Insight. That's one of my biggest pains in the past, to have US office, because manage this you're gonna get crazy. When you're there, when you're in US, you were wake up early to speak, and then one office is going to sleep and the other office is waking up, and you still like 24/7 you have all the conversation and everything. It's very hard to manage. So if you can avoid this, or for example, to have a really small office, or even one contractor on the payroll there, just helping, making some business, it might be much better if you have a small company.
Thank you
so
very much.
don't run and do this.
Asia is also separated?
Yeah, Asia is China is absolutely, it's kind of, it's a different planet.
Okay.
And yes, and it's also, there is an Asia, and there are no Asia in the gaming market. There are like, there's China and South Korea and Japan and yes, and Thailand and Malaysia and Indonesia, and it's all different countries with the different settings and genres and hardware and so on.
To the question, what you want, right?
Yeah, what do you want?
Okay.
Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think yes. So first of all, thank you for your presentation. It was very cool. I have a set of small questions. So first is, from your perspective, from your experience, which stage of development is the best to approach, like publishers or strategists or venture capitals, when you have a small indie team, you have a game, it's like refined, you have like a prototype or vertical slice. From publishers' point of view, when they're most excited, with what you should approach them, with just idea or with a polished, refined gameplay, and like it will work like that, or like from your experience?
With knowing what they are looking for.
Okay, how to know that?
Negotiate.
Ask first.
Ask.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? And then Tencent will tell you, we are looking for shooters like PUBG.
Okay.
AA and AAA, and we invest only in this and nothing else, for example. or we are looking for this or for that. And then you just ask. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And one more. So you talked about the first impression, yeah? It's very important to cast first impression. It would be good. But is it a case when you approach the same publisher like twice or third times just to show your progress, that your initial pitch was good, but in a few months you became like a real better, just to see this progress and they can like change their opinion, for example?
There are numbers of very good requirements. Just ask ChatGPT about it. How to update and negotiate with investors. Usually, it's like you had a call, then you can in a couple of days drop the video. Like, oh hey, we just came out with the video, and then in I don't know 2 or 3 weeks, oh hey, we just opened our beta, whatever. So any events that happened, and then in the 3 months, yes, here's our traction. We see the numbers are raising, or something happened, and so on. Just be sure that first of all, they are a little bit interested, just a little, not so that you're not annoying them. And well, it's okay to drop a lot of updates. It's fine.
Oh, cool, cool. And last question, maybe you told that if you have a possibility not to raise money, don't do it. Like stay on your own. Like do it whichever you have time to without raising. Like, can you clarify more about why it is the case?
First of all, there are usually like 2 or 3 founders, yeah, in the company, and sometimes it's one. And fundraising is a process that takes 100% of your time for a pretty long period of time. So yeah, like you need to do this full time. And in this case, I think that the most important thing that we have, especially in the modern world, is timing. Is time. That's the most expensive thing. And I mean, so first of all, you spend a lot of time on the fundraising. You're not making a game. You're not making publishing deals. You're not making a business deal with some. I don't know if you're integrating something. You're not making new features. You're not speaking with your team. So you're not doing a lot of things. You're just fundraising. And that's the first thing. Then the second thing, you get money, you get partner, you get the team, but your shares are much smaller. So if you have any chance to bootstrap, try bootstrap.
Cool, yeah, now it makes sense more. Yeah, thank you a lot.
And then also a partner who might have a different goals with you. You get him on the board, and then he is saying, yes, you need to launch it in Japan right now. And you're like, what? You need to go in Japan and launch it there. There are a lot of money there, I know. That was going to be your board of directors.
I see. Yeah. Thank you a lot for the answers. Very useful.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
Yeah. Hi. So what's the key asset investor invests in? Is it a good team or maybe a good game idea? Or is it like very good founder? Yeah.
Founder?
I mean,
First?
founder first.
Founder first, team second, people first. So people first. And basically, first impression is emotional on the people. You know, like the track record, the profile is of course very, very important. It's like pretty much like hiring, you know, you see the CV, you see the experience, you pretty much understand that he understands what he's doing. So if I did a couple of exits, I'm highly likely, and it's going to be 2 same startups, they highly likely give money to me because I had exits and I'm experienced entrepreneur and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, if you're ambitious, if it's a venture capital, they need ambitious founder, you know, they need not tens of millions next couple of years. They need hundreds, they need billions They need the player X, and yes, they need because they need X100. It also depends on the investor. If it's a private investor and you agreed on that you need the cash machine, just making a good company and take cash out of this, might be he's looking for, he or she, whatever, is looking for someone who is not that ambitious, but very, systematic and make the shit done, and he will be sure that his money is gonna be, put it in the development and so on. So it depends. Venture capital is looking for ambitious, experienced entrepreneurs and good team with good traction.
What about publishers?
Publishers are looking for a game.
For a game idea, or maybe for a game idea.
Never idea.
And
Never
good,
idea.
Good team.
A game in a special genre, in a special segment, and then make sure that the team is ready to produce it, that they will be able to execute.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Thank you for your talk. And I have a question, how to build relationships with angel investors. So let me clarify. Let's say I am a cool guy, I can write code, I can build products and blah, blah, blah. But I live in just another world because my daily routine, I just go to work or, I don't know, I write some code, I talk to my colleagues, and where I can find these angel investors and how I can build relationships with them.
Generate leads. You know what I mean? There are a number of ideas how to generate leads. You can have your social media channel and good public activity to generate leads, so they will come to you. But be honest and say to your public accounts that you are looking for angel investors. I'm looking for angel investors. That's the way. Or you, I don't know, go on the conference, but they're usually not on the conference. Internet, I mean, you search, you speak to the people. And what's interesting about angel investors, they usually have the communities of angel investors. So if there is one, if you're lucky enough to catch one, you probably catch 20 of them. And so ask. If you catch one, ask to make an intro to someone else who is also investing in small checks. And that's how you just, it's kind of word of mouth. So you ask, and you can find. But to any channels and flows to generate leads.
Okay, but is it enough to have these angel investor, let's say, on your LinkedIn or on some other social media, or you need to spend lots of time with this person? You need drink vodka together or something like that, and only after that he will be able to invest in your company.
Well, I am a super believer in the cold emails and the cold calls. You know this story, yeah? I'm going to tell right now. You know this story. Last round I raised, but it was killed by the war, was $100 million for a couple of years to build a big publisher. That was my last deal I did. And it was made by cold email. I had a negotiation with a big strategic company, so they will invest, and the negotiation was very hard and tough, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to work with them. What I'm doing, like, hey, I'm gonna speak with some others, and through my network, I found an email of the top executive in the big green. well, I'm not going to say this, in a big green corporation. And then I just dropped the email to him. Like, hey, I'm Alisa, I'm 20 years making games. If you want to speak about, I have a super project. If you want to speak about this super project, I'm ready to tell you more. And he answered in 10 minutes. In 2 days, I've been in his office. And in 6 months, we closed $100 million deal. And of course, the profile works. Yes, like I'm Alisa, and yes, of course it works. But it still works. You generate lead. This is mathematics. I mean, you will make 100 cold emails, you will get 5 answers.
Thank you.
So is it make sense to just bomb investors and try to reach them like anyhow you can?
Most part of my network that I already have and negotiate and use and help some startups making intra was done by cold emails. Like, hey, I'm Alisa, I'm doing this startup, goes to AI. If you would like, please take a look, and we will. And I will be happy to pitch for you if you'll find 15 to 30 minutes this week, please.
Okay. So, any questions? No? I think.
Enjoy Vilnius, guys. It's cozy and beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the speech.